course it is about you, because you're the one that is experiencing your life, that is experiencing Ramadan, that is observing in Ramadan in whatever way you're doing, from your personal, unique, bespoke, tailored perspective, point of view, level of thinking, the way in which you see the world, subhanAllah, very unique to you. And what has come up today on this 7th day of Ramadan has been a lot to do with self-care, a lot to do with looking after ourselves. And subhanAllah, today I've been drawn to, mashallah, it's been a wonderful day of coaching, of learning, of teaching, of really embracing the conversations that I've had with clients, with friends, with in certain groups, mashallah. And there was this sense of, sometimes we can be, and especially as Muslim women, we can be very intuitive about the needs of others. We worry about others, whether it be family members, our children, our spouses, friends, colleagues even. We get a sense of, you know, where they're at, and we want to help. And we put forward ways in which we want to help that person seek help or be made to feel better, or made to feel better. Sorry, too many words there. But we want for others this sense of well-being, especially if it comes to a point, or it comes to comes to a point where we've almost decided, we've clocked on, we've mulled it over, and we thought, okay, they are going through XYZ and they need ABC kind of attention. And then we look to trying to find solutions, trying to find ways in which to help them, and we really, really want them to be okay. And subhanAllah, there's something quite sunnah about that. Wanting for your brother, or wanting for your sister, wanting for your fellow human what you want for yourself. That is the essence, isn't it, of sharing, of caring, of not being selfish, of not having this real sense of, no, I want it for me, and I don't want anyone else to have it. It's not ego, it is that sense of kinship, of sisterhood, brotherhood, of fellow human interaction, when we can want for others what we want for ourselves. And it sounds amazing, doesn't it? It sounds lovely. But what if you want for someone what you want for yourself, but you're not getting it for yourself, you're trying to get it for them? You're almost sacrificing yourself, not taking care of yourself, but wanting the other person to be okay. Because at some level, you've had to think about it, and you've deduced that they need help, they need nurturing, they need something. But what about you? Because in those instances, and I see this a lot with the amazing women I work with, they are so worried about their family, their friends, their children, their husbands, their parents, and they go to work, they become misfix-it. They want to make sure that the other person is all right. But when we are looking to how, you know, others are feeling, or how we want to help others, there is this sense of, how did we get that inkling that help is what they needed? Is there something within us that we really want for ourselves, but we see it in others? We see the need for it in others, but we don't look for it for ourselves. And it's almost like the anti wanting for your brother what you want for yourself. You want for your brother or your sister or your husband or your children well-being. You want for them happiness. You want for them to be okay, but you're not actively looking for it for you. And you're thinking that as long as they're all right. And I've worked with some amazing women that have told me, you know, if my children are happy, I'm happy. Or, you know, if my husband's okay with me, then I'm okay. Or if my parents are happy with me, then I'm okay. And that sounds very, you know, well, I don't know how it sounds. How does it sound to you? It's always, you know, sometimes you might think, okay, well, yeah, that might be true. But is it? Because your children could be blissfully happy. They could be absolutely a-okay. And you would still be feeling not quite right. Not quite there. Oh, excuse me, I've got something in my mouth. Your husband, your parents, your friends, your family, they could be absolutely tickety-boo doing what they're doing. But that will only make you feel happy if you believe that their happiness is what is needed for you. Now, I know I'm rambling here at the moment. It's been a long day, subhanAllah, but follow me through with this. If you've ever been on a flight, if you've ever been on a plane and you're watching the cabin crew do the safety demonstration, and subhanAllah, I must have said these words however many times over the years that I was cabin crew. Please ensure your mask is correctly fitted before helping anyone else. Never a truer word has been spoken on a plane ever, or in any scenario. You have to be okay within yourself. You have to be around. You have to be there before you can help anyone else. Because if your mask isn't correctly fitted and you're kind of feeling very faint, but you're really trying to make sure that everyone else is okay, what happens when you've made sure they're okay? Where are you? Where do you come? Where do you come on your list of priorities? Where do you come on your list of people to look after? Where do you fit in your list of priorities? And where is that wanting for your brother what you want for yourself? Because in that moment, you're wanting for your brother, your sister, your fellow human being, but you're not looking after you first. During this Ramadan, other people can't pray for you. They can't, they can pray for you. What I mean is they can't do your salah for you. They can't do your fast for you. They can't connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for you. You have to be around to do that. You have to be around to connect with Allah, to fast, to pray, to observe this month. They can't observe it for you. Outside of the month, they can't live your life for you. They are very busy living their lives. But if you are feeding everyone else, making sure everyone else's mask is correctly fitted, making sure that everyone else is tickety-boo and they are a-okay, but you are still hungry because you've not eaten, you've fed everyone else, you're feeling very, very faint because your mask, it's not just not correctly fitted, it's not even on. You're feeling very just exhausted, deflated, not having a good old time. And you are most certainly not a happy bunny. When you fill your cup first, which might sound like a bit of a cliche, but self-care, if you think about it as self-responsibility, self-care is not a luxury. It's not a nice to. It is the ultimate responsibility. It's the ultimate fard for you. Because that self-care, yourself, your whole self, your spiritual, physical, psychological self, that's what makes you a human being. That is on you. That's not for anyone else to look after. That's not anyone else's priority. That's not anyone else's responsibility. That is yours. And whilst it seems that, you're here and you're trying to make everyone else okay, everyone else is fine, you're trying to make things, great for everyone else. And that's lovely because, they're obviously people you care about. But at what cost does making sure that everyone else is okay, what does that cost you? Because that's not wanting for your fellow human what you want for yourself. That's feeding everyone else, starving yourself, and then wondering why you're not full, why your stomach's still rumbling, why you're feeling a bit faint, while you're not having a good old time. Today, subhanallah, I have been running around doing lots and lots and lots, and I felt the effects today of getting into that rush of I've got to do this, this and this, and I've got to make sure that everything is done, then I'll be okay. And I think I must have been running around like the Tasmanian devil for about 20 minutes before I stopped and thought, subhanallah, when I'm doing all of those things, running around, when I am in my head and it's all whirling, I am the least connected, I am the least present, I am the most busy up here, and at that moment I'm not even giving the best of me to everyone. I'm giving the last dregs, hoping that they'll be okay, and then thinking, what is going on here? Why is everyone still, you know, not being all lovely and happy and everyone's tickety-boo? When that happens, when that's a great, you know, that's like a big warning sign that's saying you need to pause there. Just take a breath. What is it that you're not seeing here? What is it that you're trying to do? What is it that is going on for you? And I saw it immediately, and I had got into my head that I needed to make sure that everything else was done, that this letter needs to be posted, I needed to drop something into the surgery, I needed to call someone back, I needed to answer an email. It was a lot. But in all of that, when I just took a pause, popped my mask on, reconnected, I could see that everything else around me, it will get done, but it most certainly won't get done to the best of my abilities if I'm running around like a whirlwind. Self-care is not selfish. When you take care of yourself, you have the best to give to others. And that filling your cup, if you've got your last dregs, your last fumes of energy, that's what you're going to pour out. But if you have that, subhanAllah, that mercy, that understanding, that awareness, that kindness, that compassion, that especially during this month, we are all begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for. He has given us elements of being able to do that for ourselves. He's not the all merciful, he's the most merciful, which means he has given us an element of the ability to be merciful, but also to show mercy, but to accept mercy and to be merciful ourselves. The most kind, the most compassionate, which means that we have the element, the ability to be kind, to be compassionate. But when we've got this mindset that we've got to be it for everyone else, or that's what we've got to give, we need to be the first recipients of that, because then that is what we've got to pour out to everyone else. For some people, especially, I'm going to say especially women, especially Muslim women, self-care seems like an indulgence, seems like an option, seems like, I'll do that when I've got time, if I've got time, if I can find a spare moment, if, everyone else is okay, or when the kids are grown up, or when everything's going all right at work, when I've got that big project done, and then, I'll be able to take some time out for me. All the while, those projects are being led, children are being raised, the home is being looked after, the relationships that you have are being related to, or being, you're having those relationships with people. You're the one that's central to all of that, because you're the one that's experiencing those relationships. You're the one that's experiencing your husband, your job, your children, your home, your community, your friends, your pets. You're the one that's experiencing that. If you don't make time for you, no one else is going to. You have to be your priority. You have to be the one most committed to your life, because no one else will. But no one else is accountable for you. You are. So self-care is not selfish. It's not an indulgence. It's not an option. It's actually the very foundation of the amana that you have to look after, like your mind, your body, your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's all an amana. That is all a gift that you have, a responsibility that you are accountable for. Your self-care. It's not that one's care or his care or her care. Self-care. You. And you're pretty important. You are very important. So when you want for others what you want for yourself, what is it that you do want for yourself? What is it that you actually want for you? Because when you realise that you are the one that is central to your world, it doesn't mean that you don't care about anyone else. It's not like, well, stuff everyone else as long as I'm all right, Jack. It's not at all. When you are whole and looked after and nurtured and nourished and aware of you, the importance of you, you are going to be more in tune and more able to give that kindness, that compassion, that love, that affection, that tarbiyah, that joy, that fun, that essence of you to everyone else. But at the moment, if you're on your last dregs, if you're running on fumes, what is everyone else's experience of you? What is everyone else experiencing of you, do you think? Now, I know that I've asked you lots of questions, but as you know, I am a very nosy Parker, and what does that bring up for you? On the 7th day of Ramadan, we're a week in, subhanAllah, what has your week been like? And what would it look like for the next week if you were more aware and caring and nurturing and nourishing of yourself in order to give the best to those around you and to optimize your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially in this month? What would that look like for you? And if you'd like some help to know how to do that, or what that even looks like for you, you can reach me. You can either DM me or you can send me an email at connect@farahhalabi.com to arrange a consultation to really eke that out for you. Not eke that out, sorry. To really go into what that is for you. What that looks like for you. Bespoke and tailored for you. I've got a bit of a sore throat now. I've obviously spoken too much, so I'm going to leave you. But as always, I pray that you are safe, well, happy and healthy. And inshallah, I shall be on tomorrow for another little conversation. But for now, take care. Assalamu alaikum.